You snoozed twice this morning, spilled your coffee once, and you've already blamed last night's referee for your morning mood.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's time to embrace the chaos and step into the madness.
Bro, you about to see a side of me you didn't even know existed.
Featuring guests who are over-caffeinated and less reasonable than the average person.
Man, I think it's just ridiculous.
Come on, man. Are you serious? Ugh.
Fans, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Welcome to the show.
So buckle up. It's time for hot takes and hot mics. This is the Morning Rant, where the only thing more unpredictable is Dave before his third cup of coffee.
I just felt like running.
On WPGY, the Sports Pig.
10 in a row. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Morning Rant. It's a Rally Towel Tuesday on St. Patrick's Day, brought to you by your friends at the Pub in LJ. I'm wearing my green. Billy D, my co-host today, is waving the Rally Towel in our Kirich Kia studios around here. Appreciate you guys being with us. We'll be on the air till 11 o'clock today. Welcome inside to the Morning Rant, the fastest 1 hour in sports talk radio. Again, we are your home for ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com. Billy D, how you doing this morning?
Man, I'm feeling great. What a great weekend. Ready to go.
Ready to go. You know, we were talking, speaking of the weekend, I got my green, I wore a green hoodie. I've already been to Cartersville this morning. It's already been a busy week, or weekday, I guess, because we had a 1 year anniversary. Of course, our sister station, The Pulse, 101.1 FM, celebrating the what we're calling the never-ending birthday celebration. Basically, we're going around to different chambers of commerces all over North Georgia and celebrating 1 year of being on the air. That also includes us here as well at the Sports Pig. Obviously, this is just our third week of the show of the Morning Rant, but the station itself, the frequency, you name it, technically has been around for a year. So again, I've already had a busy morning. Had to get up early this morning, get over to the Bartow County Chamber over in Cartersville for a ribbon cutting. Was able to cut out of there. Came sliding back into the studio here on two wheels just to sit down with you and chop it up, man. Talk about the world of sports.
Well, that's awesome. And let me tell you something. You may have gotten up early, but you did not forget the bling. My man, not only is he wearing a green sweatshirt, but you should see this watch. If you're watching on YouTube, you got to see this watch. I mean, the leprechaun at his finest right here. I mean, I've never seen such emerald green bling watch in my life from the Mr. T starter kit itself.
It's a wonder what you can do with Temu, right? You know, I mean, there's a lot of different. You can act like a baller without having a baller budget. You know, no, this is it's more. I promise, it's more costume jewelry. I think it maybe has a few emeralds in it.
I'm a little bit jealous, just a little bit.
Yeah, but this is my official St. Patty's Day. Well, I've also got on. I don't know if I'm trying to get my leg up to the microphone here, which that ain't going to work. I'm too old for that. But I got my green and white Nike Dunk Lows on here. I got plenty of. I ain't getting pinched today, man. That was the biggest thing. I was like, I ain't gonna get pinched.
I don't wear green, so I can get pinched.
Yeah, well, you probably like that. You probably invite that. Hey, I'm not wearing green. Come pinch me. Let's see what your wife has to say about that. I don't know, but anyway. I love it. Over this next hour, we're going to talk a lot about a lot of different things. Of course, the World Baseball Classic, man, last night was the other semifinal. The second semifinal, of course, Team USA beat the Dominican the other night 2-1.
What a game.
Yeah, and then last night was Team Italy taking on Team Venezuela with, of course, Ronald Acuna, our very own Ronald Acuna of the Atlanta Braves, playing a big part in the come-from-behind win last night for Team Venezuela. So it's Team USA against Team Venezuela. Vamos, Venezuela.
Let's go.
Man, we will see what happens there, but it should be a lot of fun. If nothing else, it's great to see Ronnie, in the big stage there. He had mentioned in an interview earlier this week that, when the Braves won the World Series a few years ago, he was sidelined. I mean, he was in the dugout, still got the ring, but if you remember, he was injured that year and didn't get to play. So he was saying how this World Baseball Classic has kind of renewed his spirit or energy, if you will, to feel like he's playing on a big stage to be able to be in that moment, in that big game.
Well, and I love the way you said, because you said it right, Venezuela. That's perfect. I love that sound. But yeah, no, and hopefully that carries on into the regular season when he gets in back in the lineup with us. So yeah, no, it's the World Baseball Classic. I just got into it this past weekend, and it's exciting. It's awesome. I can't wait to see the game tonight, and the energy is there. I think America is taking it seriously now. They see how much it means to the world around them and everything. And,
absolutely.
And they better take it seriously because Venezuela certainly is.
Venezuela going to come in there fired up, man. I've never seen so many exotic bat flips and
awesome.
a lot of spicy bat flips. Certainly right here. Hey, we're the home of spicy sports talk radio. So spicy it deserves its own barbecue sauce. This is the Sports Pig online and on Facebook, and also on Twitter, the Sports Pig, and of course this show, The Morning Rant, on Instagram at The Morning Rant _ WPGY, and also full video episodes on YouTube at The Morning Rant on WPGY, the Sports Pig. Thanks for being with us right here. March Madness, a lot of talk going on. Of course, you and I are going to dive into the bracket a little further this morning and kind of talk about some things, but I kind of want to get your initial thoughts about, Georgia being in there, Kennesaw State, able to win Conference USA. They're in the bracket as well. So, State of Georgia at least got a couple teams in there.
What is the deal with Georgia when they get into the bracket, when they get into the big dance? Last year, Georgia gets in, and we have to play Gonzaga, okay?
Right,
all right, and then we get smoked, okay? This year, KSU gets in. Who do they got to play? Gonzaga.
Yeah.
So, what is this, like an initiation process that we have to go through?
Hey, man,
ridiculous.
That if you're going to be there and you belong there, then you got to be able to play with the big boys,
man.
right?
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on.
Give us somebody else.
I feel you. You look down the bracket. Yesterday, John and I, Big John Davis was in here with us yesterday. He'll be back here tomorrow. He'll be in studio with us tomorrow. But we were trying to throw out, and we'll talk about this later in the show too, but we're trying to throw out a couple of, 12 versus 5, potential upsets, because every year it's inevitable. You're going to have at least one, right? Statistically speaking, there's been a 12 over 5, I think, about every year for the most part, 11 over 6. Occasionally you're going to have that 13 over 4. So anything jump out to you so far as maybe one of those early round upsets as we get close to the play-in games? I guess they start tomorrow. Right? Tomorrow, and then Thursday, Friday is round 1.
If you want to watch those, I don't really count those.
You
got the...
it really starts on Thursday.
Yeah,
for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I don't even count those teams, really. So...
But I will say this, though. The last several years, one of those play-in teams has made it to the Sweet 16.
That's true.
I think last year, I can't remember if it happened last year, but prior to last year, it happened like every year since they'd started doing the play-in.
Well, you have your Miami of Ohio in one of those games, right?
Yep, you're right.
That's Wednesday?
Yep, there's an 11 seed. Yeah, they're an 11 seed playing a play-in game on, I guess, tomorrow, and they're playing... trying to think who they're playing. I'm trying to look and see where they're at.
If they win, they got to play Tennessee.
Yeah, they're playing SMU. Yeah, it's a Miami of Ohio against SMU, and if the winner of that plays Tennessee, you're right.
Yeah.
So that could be a potential situation right there. Tennessee's look good, but you've also got Texas and North Carolina State, which is a little bit intriguing. I know BYU has had a great year, and that's who the winner of that game would play. But I could totally see Texas or NC State, very much.
Well, look, you got look what happened to Alabama just yesterday. You had the incident with their star player. So I don't know that whether they're a 4th seed, right? And so, how far are they going to go without their star player? You've got Duke that has injuries.
Yep.
And quite frankly, Florida looked awful in the SEC.
Vanderbilt, pretty much.
Vanderbilt just
run roughshod. Yeah, they did.
It was ridiculous. And Georgia got beat again. By Ole Miss, right? In that, I love Georgia. I'm a Georgia guy, but my gosh, can we win a tournament game, please? It's been like 26 years since we've won one.
You're right. It has been that long. But did you know? Here's a little did you know right here in the very first segment of our Rally Towel Tuesday, right here in the Morning Rant. Did you know that Georgia's the only school now, back-to-back years, that has made both the college football playoff, and the NCAA tournament? Georgia's done that technically the last 2 years.
That NIL money's great, isn't it?
Yeah. You gotta love it, man. It's all part of it, right? It's all part of it. So again, NIL, man. Yeah, we talk a lot about that, of course, right here on the program as well. Hey, we're going to talk about some other things coming up too a little bit later on here. Again, the PGA, the Players Championship. I know Billy's got some notes on that, but how about our Atlanta Hawks, we talk about how irrelevant this organization has been over the last, decade, I guess, ever since they went to the Eastern Conference Finals years ago against Giannis and the Bucks. But, man, 10 in a row, they got it done again, 124-112 over Orlando, who's also been playing very well. Very much like Outkast said years ago during the awards ceremony, the South got something to say. And between Orlando, between Atlanta, between Charlotte, and I think Miami, the South in the NBA all have really been on some streaks right here, but man, none better than our very own Atlanta Hawks.
I'm telling you, pay attention to the Hawks. They're a really good team. They're coming together ever since this Trae Young thing got sent out. They've been starting to gel. We got some people back. You got Jalen Johnson. Listen, we've won 10 straight. But we're still like the 9th seed,
right?
Because everybody keeps winning. But
right.
I'm telling you, we're not somebody you want to play in the playoffs. We're dangerous. I think we are. I mean, and I think the future for the Hawks looks really good if we get some other pieces, maybe the off season or whatever. But hey, let's look at now. Let's look at now.
Let's embrace it. I mean, and my thing, and I've asked this all the time, I still have such a hard time. I was one of those people, and I wasn't like some huge, like Trae Young apologist necessarily, but I'm sitting here thinking to myself, was it really that big a difference to now that they've gotten rid of Trae, they've been just a much better basketball team. And I sit there and I think about it, I'm like, wow. There's no way this would have happened with Trae. So it really does make you think about the fact that, man, what if, a lot of people have been talking about Quinn Snyder. Well, maybe he needs to go. Maybe he hadn't been able to figure it out, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Maybe we are now learning the real reason why this Atlanta Hawks team hasn't been able to get any better than the play-in game.
Chemistry matters. Chemistry totally matters. Quinn Snyder's had a history of being a good coach. So, and I would say my answer to that be I think he has figured it out. Had to get rid of Trae.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's certainly a front office decision along with Quinn and everybody else there. Of course, Tony Wrestler, a lot of people talk about, not wanting to pay the luxury tax, not wanting to be one of those top franchises, which, by the way, I know that the NBA, we talk about the NHL expanding. I know the NBA is looking to expand too with, I think, Vegas and maybe Seattle, I think, is returning to the league. I remember the old days of the Seattle Supersonics with Sean Kemp and even Gary Payton when he was there before Oklahoma City. Became the new Seattle Supersonics. But it does look like over the next 2 or 3 years that Vegas and I think it's Seattle, I think that are going to return to the NBA there. But yeah, man, the Atlanta Hawks rocking and rolling right now, 10 in a row after that victory last night at home against Orlando. So again, be fun to see how the Hawks do the rest of the way. Hey, we're going to take our first time out. When we come back, we'll dive into a little free agency news, and of course, we'll talk more about the World Baseball Classic. And Billy D's got something to say about this past weekend's GHSA State Basketball Championships. We're going to revisit that, all that and more straight ahead right here on the Morning Rant. This is the home of ESPN Radio North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Grand Slam! 98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, the official home for the Atlanta Braves baseball.
Tired of shouting your business's name into the void and getting nothing but crickets? Your brand deserves more than awkward billboard glances and flyers lining bird cages. Right now, listeners are hearing me ramble on instead of your ad. That's a touchdown for missed opportunities and a fumble for your wallet.
Recovered, Atlanta, game over.
Your ad could be here, making fans laugh, cheer, and most importantly, call you. Go to sportspigradio.com or call 678-454-9552 and get your business off the bench and into the game.
Big opinions of the big games from the big mouths.
Man, I think it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the Morning Rant on WPGY The Sports Pig, North Georgia's home for ESPN Radio.
Sit down.
And welcome back, St. Patrick's Day show right here on the Morning Rant. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hopefully you're wearing your green today. Hey, wear your green tonight at the pub in Ellijay. Again, our friends having a big St. Patty's Day event here tonight, and of course specials, all kinds of things going on. So again, wear your best green Garb, stop by the pub in LJ. Tell them we sent you right here. Again, this Rally Towel Tuesday, presented by our friends at the pub. And again, what a night to be out at a pub. It is Tuesday for all you Irish folks out there, including myself. I do like to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. It always just seems to fall during a week, though, or sometime, or I've always got something else going on where I kind of forget about it. So the fact that I even remembered to wear green today is a win for me. I'll take it. I put a little bit of the green bling on, and so hey, man, we're feeling it today, man. We're feeling it.
Yeah, you didn't forget. You did well. You did well. Looking great.
I love it. Hey, let's talk for a minute. Speaking of green, there were a couple of teams wearing green this past weekend in the GHSA State Basketball Championships. And I wanted to give you a crack at this, Billy D, because yesterday I sat here with Big John Davis. We were talking about, the pinnacle of being on the game's greatest stage. Our coverage over on our sister station, we branded this year as Hoop Dreams. And it was great seeing so many of those hoop dreams come to fruition over the weekend. It started with Creekview. Of course, we had Heritage on Wednesday win out of Ringgold, and then Creekview won on Friday, and then Saturday morning it was Murray County, the Lady Indians, winning the state championship in the 2A bracket. Both those schools sporting their green and on their way to a big payday that is, of course, becoming state champs. But you've got a bone to pick, I think, with maybe the TV coverage that day or something.
This is the rant, right?
This is the rant,
the morning
man.
rant. Yeah,
let's hear it, man. Lean into it.
Look, man, it's awesome. We're in the the lot of north side teams here. On the championship level for basketball, and Creekview, you go through the whole season.
Not to be confused with other schools. Yes,
you go through the whole season. You get in the playoffs, and then you're down at Macon the whole last week, and then you're there for the championship game, and we have the public broadcast and all this stuff. I'm at a church event. Okay, I'm sitting at dinner. I'm watching it. I can't listen, unfortunately, on the radio. But I'm watching it, and then, but before, they're calling them Creekside.
Yeah.
Creekside.
Yeah.
You've had you deserve a little bit of respect. If you've been playing this long, you got through the whole season, you played all last week at their Coliseum, and then you come in there for the championship game, and you can't call us Creekview. I mean, come on, Creekside.
Can't get the name right. Oh,
Ben,
yeah.
Ben, you go through the whole game. Oh, I'm not finished. You go through the whole game. You've been broadcasting them for an hour and a half. Then you get to the trophy ceremony.
Yeah.
And they call them Creekside.
Yeah.
You got to be better, GPB. Come on.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
You're right about that. No, that's the thing. I mean, and look, I've sat in that seat. I get it. I had the opportunity to call the state high school basketball championships for a number of years with, Georgia Public Broadcasting. But the one thing that I always had a problem with, to a certain extent, was that a lot of these guys, and I'm not saying the guys that were there this weekend. I don't even know who was there, honestly. But it is one of those things where a lot of the guys, admittedly, during the football season, more of the Atlanta personalities would just kind of show up, and you give them a roster and they would do the game. There was no prep. There was nothing that was done ahead of time to show that they had really knew anything about the teams, honestly. And so it is disappointing because, to your point, you get to the pinnacle of the sport and they can't even get the name of the school right.
Put some respect on my name.
Put some respect. Yeah, they call. Yeah, and I was down there calling it on radio, and I told some folks on Facebook, hey, you should have turned the sound down on the TV and turned it over to the radio broadcast and pulled us up, because I don't think I let a Creekside slip once. It was Creekview. It was the Creekview Lady Grizzlies all the way.
Goodness.
But you're right. I think they called him something else too. I think because there is a Creekside High, in all fairness, but they were not there. But they called him Creekside. I think they called him Creek. I don't know.
I just heard Creekside a bunch.
Yeah,
I was like, you've been there way too long. You should at least get the name right.
Yeah,
get the name right.
You got to get the name right, and certainly in that situation. So again, the morning rant right here, producing a rant right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com. And you actually live out in that school district, so I know for you, your kids came through there. So
I'm close to it.
I know Creekview has a pretty close place in your heart.
Yeah, no, I'm close to it. My wife goes there. Shout out, Michelle. I know you're listening, and it's it was special for that. That's the first time that we've won a state championship with the Creekview Grizzly ladies basketball. So, I mean, it's pretty exciting. It's awesome. Everybody was down there having a great time. Was just exciting to see that come through. And we just call us Creekview.
There you go. Just call us the right name, for crying out loud.
Come on.
Man, oh man, oh man. Hey, we're kicking it old school with Billy D today, right here on the Morning Rant. Again, our Tuesday host on a Rally Towel Tuesday. We're going to dive into March Madness here in just a moment, but I do want to talk a little bit more about the World Baseball Classic, because that is one thing that we have touched on. And real quick, I mean, obviously, Team USA being able to get past the Dominican. Dominican has set the record for the most home runs in a World Baseball Classic, I think, with 15. So Team USA able to cool them a little bit. Paul Skeens came up big for a few innings right there.
Slinging it.
To be able to hold a lineup that features Vlad Guerrero, Tatis, Machado, all those guys, De La Cruz. I mean, you name it, top to bottom, to be able to hold a lineup like that to one run, I mean, that's pretty impressive. That says a lot. I
mean, they were smoking. They couldn't get around that ball. I mean, every pitcher came in there. It was, I think the lowest speed I saw coming through there was 99. I mean, everything's 100, 101, 102, just smoking it. We only had two runs, so it was just a great game. Everybody had been scoring. They've been scoring over 10 runs a game. The Dominican Republic. It was great to see us hold them down like that, especially after they called us out. How they wanted us. They wanted, well, you know what? You got us.
Right. Yep.
And now we're going.
And now we're there. Yeah. And as you mentioned, again, the championship tonight, quick turnaround, obviously, for Venezuela, but the championship match set up for tonight, St. Patrick's Day matchup later on tonight down in Miami. Again, Team USA making their third straight championship appearance in this every 4-year tournament. So very much like the World Cup for baseball. Hey, we were talking about the Atlanta Hawks earlier, 10 in a row, certainly on a heater, man. They've certainly figured things out. Hopefully they can climb up a little bit closer in the standings. Let's talk for a minute about NFL free agency. We don't have a lot to share at this point since you and I left off last week. There have been a couple moves here, but I noticed last night a guy that former Georgia Bulldog linebacker who spent some time in Philly, but the last 4 years with the New York Giants, Azeez Ojulari, the Marietta High School product, coming to Atlanta, coming back home to his hometown to join the Falcons defensively. He's been a little bit banged up over the last couple of years. Hasn't really made the noise, I don't think, that a lot of people thought he would. But part of that is due to some injuries and things. So Falcons again steadily trying to add some pieces with the budget.
Any help we can get at the linebacker spot is appreciated, because I don't know if you remember last year when Diablo was out.
Oh yeah,
and we had it was
totally different team. Bertrand came in there, and I mean he just couldn't do it. Yeah. I mean, I love the guy, but he can't do it. Diablo is like it's a totally different defense when Diablo's in there. So you got to have some linebacker help this year. Well, especially with Caden Ellis going.
And Ellis is going
back to New Orleans.
So we got more work to do, believe me. But it's nice to see us going out there and trying to address the issue.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about, obviously, Kyler Murray signing a 1-year deal with the Vikings, joining J.J. McCarthy in that quarterback room. DJ Moore to the Bills. Again, a lot of different things. The new league year, of course, starting this week. One of the things I talked about yesterday, I thought was a very interesting take. We always talk about this show being, hot takes, hot mics. John Davis, former two-time All-American, former Buffalo Bill, made the bold statement that the offensive line play in today's NFL is the worst he has ever seen. And we talked about that, and I said, why is that? Why do you think that is? And he said, it's just, he thinks it's a lot of lack of proper development, but maybe trying to get too cute. These guys are 370 pounds. All they got to do is get somebody's way for the most part. But he said a lot of it is just, twist and turning. They don't teach technique, is what he, that's from John Davis. We'll talk more about that tomorrow when he's back in here. But I want to get your thoughts, too, because you and I follow football a lot. We talk about the trenches. One thing you like about Kevin Stefanski of the Falcons, he tends to try to build from the inside out, from the line of scrimmage. What's your take, particularly on the interior, not just of the Falcons, but the NFL in total?
Well, look, I think he's absolutely right. And I think the teams that go the furthest are the ones that have the best line play.
Yeah.
That's why you hear Jamie Dukes and these guys when they come in and they're offered to help some of our defensive linemen when they come in. They go through their special camps.
Yeah,
there's a lot of, I think there's a lot to be said for what John said, because they take them and what they're able to do with these guys in an off season, just working with them in camps and teaching them technique and stuff. I don't know if it's because the NFL just doesn't have the time to teach these things anymore because of all the changes with what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do, but it has hindered the line play, to John's point.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, you see a lot of bad play. I know that I'm trying to think of his name, the tackle that got drafted as first-round guy for the Patriots was basically like a turnstile during the Super Bowl. I mean, the Seahawks have their way with him, Yeah, pretty much. Ole, he should have had a red cape there. So there's a lot of things like that. I think even guys that come out, I'll never forget. See, I go way back. I remember the Tony Mandriches, right? The number one overall pick in the draft way back in the 80s, the big offensive lineman that went to my Green Bay Packers and ended up doing absolutely nothing. So, again, you've had those busts. I mean, busting drafts is nothing new. It happens. The Falcons have certainly had their share of them if we want to bring it back, more regionally. But, you would like to see, hopefully, if nothing else, the Falcons solidify the front. They've had guys that have played together for a while. I'm still not sold, though, on McGarry. I know he was banged up a little bit. I think Jake Matthews is starting to wear a little old, honestly, at the edge as well. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but when they step up, and this year, I think with the line pay with Stefanski and having Bajan back there, and I think we're going to lean heavily on that. And but look, and on the defensive side, we got to have a lot of help there because we're losing our edge rusher. We need the linebacker help. So it's all one in the trenches, and Stefanski knows that.
Right.
And that's where these teams are doing the best, is where they have the trenches built. Cleveland had a good line. They just didn't have anything else a lot of those years.
We're right up against the break, but I want to ask you, James, speaking of James Pierce Jr., we've talked a lot about him. Does he come back to the Falcons? And the reason I ask that is because he did have some of the federal charges dropped in his case about running over the officer or running this, that, and the other. If the charges get lessened, does he return to the Atlanta Falcons this season?
I say no.
Yeah,
but I have nothing to base that off of.
Right.
I just don't think it happens. I really don't. There's just too much.
I figured he might have been cut, but the fact that they haven't cut him, the fact
they're waiting for sure.
Yeah,
they're waiting for sure.
I think a lot of it is pending. It'll be interesting to see what happens right there with the whole James Pierce Jr. situation. Hey, we're up against our second break. Thank you for tuning in. St. Patrick's Day edition of the Morning Rant. It's a Rally Towel Tuesday right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. That's the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, where hot takes meet hot mics.
Tired of shouting your business's name into the void and getting nothing but crickets? Your brand deserves more than awkward billboard glances and flyers lining bird cages. Right now, listeners are hearing me ramble on instead of your ad. That's a touchdown for missed opportunities and a fumble for your wallet.
Recovered, Atlanta, game over.
Your ad could be here, making fans laugh, cheer, and most importantly, call you. Go to sportspigradio.com or call 678-454-9552 and get your business off the bench and into the game.
Time to hang it in the Louvre.
Oh, this looks nice.
Our favorite moments from the week in sports here on the Morning Rant.
All right, back here on a terrible towel or Rally Towel Tuesday, I guess I should say. We did a terrible towel Tuesday with the first show that you and I did because we were giving a little bit of we were paying a little bit of homage to the Pittsburgh Steelers because you and I like a little bit of black and yellow. But again, terrible a Rally Towel Tuesday right here on the Morning Rant, and you had a couple of favorite moments from the weekend, so I'm going to let you expand on that, and then we'll kind of bring it back into the discussion a little bit. So what was it that stood out to you, Billy D, about this sports weekend?
Well, first and overall, I have to go with the Creekview Grizzlies winning the state championship.
There you go.
And then nationally, the Players' Championship was just incredible. As I've said many times, I'm a big golf guy.
Yep.
I follow it. And the Players is just one of those. It's really the fifth major. And just watching that tournament, watching how they struggle when the ball goes in that high rough over there, just how it all came through. Cameron Young bringing it home, and
The American, yeah.
he went and won it. It wasn't given to him, and I can talk about that. But it was nice to see the American pull it out, and just a great event.
Yeah. Xander Schauffele, I think, was third, I think, and then who was that? That was the Swede was second, I think. Right?
Alberg came in. I forget where he fell to.
Yeah.
But he had the lead going in. He'd been leading for the 3 days, and just completely melted on a few holes coming through there, and got out of his rhythm, got in that high grass I'm talking about, and it just eats you up. That fescue in there just eats you up, and they came through. Fitzpatrick missed a putt on the 18th hole at the very end. That would have sent it to a playoff.
Right, yeah.
Which was surprising because it was a little less than 8 feet, really not much to it. I would call that a choke
job.
And they were giving him a hard time because, they were USA, to the, as they, whenever we played it. So he was hearing it from the crowd from that aspect, which, again, all this USA stuff, I just feel like USA is really winning in 2026.
Yeah.
You get to hockey. Yeah. We're coming into WBC. We got Cameron Young coming through here, and you got USA being chanted everywhere. I mean, it's just, I just feel like it's USA everywhere I look right now.
I love all the soundtracks are, it's either Freebird that they put behind the highlights lately, or it's Thunderstruck, or it's, something like that when they're talking about USA highlights. But you're right about that. But no, good choices, man. You were making fun of me for not watching. I had so much stuff. I've been gone all weekend, covering the state championships. I had to get out in the yard. I'm trying to keep the Bermuda. And now, for those that don't know out there, Billy is a big grass guy. He's one of these that's got the real, mower, and I don't mean REAL. I mean REEL, the real deal, real mower. His front yard looks like a golf course. In fact, you actually have a putting green.
Yes.
In your yard. I've got a fake one in my backyard. I've just got like the fake, AstroTurf.
Well, technically it's a chipping green. I won't go as far as a putting green. We'll get there in a couple years.
You can putt on it, though.
You can.
Putt on it.
You can.
Yeah.
But I've already mowed 3 times this year.
Well,
3 times.
I mowed twice because I am trying to really gouge it down to get that Bermuda coming up really good and strong this year. So I think this is the year, man.
This is the year?
I think this is the year right here for the front.
I've told you what you need to do.
You've told me what I need to do. I've got a great guy that comes. He's been treating it with some good chemical. I've been out there, trying to manicure it as good. Because it is starting to green. Now, we got cold here over this last day or two, but I know it's supposed to warm back up just in time for the weekend. So, again, hopefully we'll get there. But, hey, speaking of the weekend, you and I, Billy D, are going to spend some time this weekend at the Wing and Rock Fest on Saturday and Sunday at the Etowah River Park in Canton, Georgia. Again, 20 different wing establishments are going to be down there. They're going to have a wing eating competition each day, sponsored by the Anchor Bar down in Kennesaw, and which was, by the way, the home of the original buffalo wing recipe. They've since franchised, and there's one actually down in Kennesaw, just a little bit to the south of us. And so, again, they're going to be there sponsoring the wing eating competition. But if you like wings and you like good music, come on down. There's going to be tribute bands all weekend. I know I think there's an REM tribute band. There were a couple different, Ozzy Osbourne, I think, tribute band. There's a lot of different ones. And then they've got a farmer's market. They've got arts and crafts. They've got a kid area. So it's very family friendly. And we'll see you there all day, Saturday and Sunday. Again, I know we'll have our tent there. So come say hey to us at the Sports Pig, and then our sister station as well, 101.1 The Pulse, will also be there. I'll have the esteemed pleasure, I think, of emceeing the wing eating contest. So that ought to be interesting. But we're looking forward to it. Saturday and Sunday, both stations, hot and heavy. And man, I'm a big wing guy. Admittedly, you and I talk a lot of food on here, and so I'm selfishly looking forward to this weekend.
Listen, I'm bringing the card, and I fully intend to hit every tent. Maybe get 4 wings per tent.
There you go.
And I would like to test a little bit of everything that's there. I mean, let's see what you got, Ken.
Yeah.
Bring it out.
Now, I'm not a huge spicy. I know you like some spices. I'm not a huge spicy person, but there are certain wings that I can handle that are really good. I like the one like in Buffalo's has got some really good bash night for anybody that's ever done that. The Red Hot Ranch, man.
Oh yeah.
But I tend to be like sweet. I like the honey garlic, the garlic parmesan type stuff. My wife not so much. She likes the more traditional hot and mediums and things like that. But whatever.
You're a little on the softer side.
Well, I guess so. I'll take that. I'll lean into it, man. I'll lean into it. But I knew you were going there. But anyway, no, whatever your flavor is, we look forward to seeing you out there Saturday and Sunday down at Etowah River Park in Canton, and looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's dive in to March Madness a little bit, and we'll continue this discussion also into our fourth and final segment here today on the Rally Towel Tuesday edition of the Morning Rant right here on a St. Patty's Day 2026. Again, sporting our green here today, and we encourage you guys to head to the pub in LJ tonight. They'll be up until 2 a.m. So again, go by and celebrate St. Patrick's Day at the pub with our friends there at the pub in LJ. Again, we were talking earlier in the show about Georgia, Kennesaw State. What a nice run Kennesaw State's on. They won the Conference USA Football Championship, went to their first ever bowl game.
Good run.
And now they're going back to the big dance for the second time in school history. And as you mentioned, of course, they drew the task of having to go up against a 30-3 Gonzaga team that comes in as a 3 seed. How much chance do you give Kennesaw State in a matchup like this? I mean, crazier things have happened.
Listen, here's the deal. Y'all want some help filling out your brackets? I'm here to help you. Okay. Here's what you do. What you list out the names of the teams and the colors that they are. Okay.
Yeah.
And you hand this over to your wife, your girlfriend, your special whatever. You hand it over to them and you say, look, with the exception of seeds 1 and 2, go wild. Have at it.
Yeah.
Just pick whatever you want because the NIL has spread the talent all around.
Yeah.
So these games, it's really going to come down to energy. It's going to come down to emotion.
Right.
And you've got a team that can just literally get hot, and it doesn't matter what's going on. It just happens.
Oh yeah.
It's basketball, and they get hot. Now, from your 1 and 2 seed teams typically can withstand a lot of this, but lately we've had ones going down.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I will tell you, I won't leave it to my wife that way because my wife, hello, Michelle, I know you're listening. She is a alumni of KSU.
Right.
So she has already done it. We have a Dowd family bracket, and we invite some others into the fam, right, to fill out the bracket. And she has already filled out her bracket. And in the championship game, it's KSU. Now, as much as I'd love to see that,
as much as I would love to see it, man, I don't see it happen. Well, you know who's in the tournament, don't you? Is that UMBC, that University of Maryland Baltimore County team that knocked off number 1 seeded Virginia, the first ever 16 over a 1.
It happens.
It's happened twice now because it happened the last year or the year before. I think it happened again. So now it had never happened in the history of the bracket. And then a few years ago, we saw UMBC knock out a heavily favored Virginia team that was actually not only just a 1 seed, I think they were the overall number 1 seed going in to March Madness, and they got beat. And then we've seen it once since then. So, but just so you know,
I don't think Duke's going to make it. I don't think they're going to make it to the end.
Well, yeah, I don't see it either with the injuries. I also think Texas Tech is a team that's primed to get beat by Akron in the first round. I think a lot of people like Akron to go to the Sweet 16 to take on Michigan, and I think that's kind of how I have it right now. You've
Michigan's
also got Alabama
strong
in that bracket as well, in that Midwest bracket there. I think Florida in the South, number 1 team there is as bad as they got beat by Vanderbilt, man. I don't know if I like the Gators to go that deep, honestly.
Yeah, there's a couple ways you look at it, right? Like they took that lump, in the SEC championship week, and maybe now they're laser focused, ready to go. But their backcourt just isn't as good as some of the. And by the way, in the bracket, it's guard play. The guard play is huge in these games, and whoever's playing the best, shooting that 3, lighting them up. The interior is always great, right? And that matters, especially when you got the big boys down there like Florida has. But if your guard play can't support it, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think one of the most intriguing round 2 matchups, assuming the bracket plays out the script, is St. John's against Kansas. Patino at St. John's has had just an absolute remarkable year, but you've got a 4-seeded Kansas that did lose 10 games this year, but they play an absolute tough conference, and so that's definitely one that stands out to me as a potential round 2 as we kind of go round by round over the next couple days, because obviously everything gets started on Thursday. So if you haven't filled out your bracket, you need to go ahead and fill it out and take a look at it and get it submitted right there, because again, the attorney does start in a couple days. Speaking of our friends at Geiger Legal, they're doing a bracket challenge, and if you've listened to this show over the last week or so, you've heard me talk about this, but I want to encourage you to take part in it. It's through an ESPN bracket, but it's Geiger Legal Gives Back Bracket Challenge, and basically free to enter, no strings attached. You win the bracket, you get $1,000 in your pocket. But better than that, you get $10,000 donated to a charity in your name. Again, totally free to play. Go on and check out Geiger Legal online. Go to their website, go to their Facebook page, go to Instagram, TikTok. They're on all of them. And they have links to be able to join the bracket challenge. And so, again, you can go on there, fill out the bracket. It's totally free. I've already done it, and looking forward to it. Now, if you fill out a bracket right now, you can go in, if it's on the ESPN format, which we are the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia, by the way, you can go in there and change it. So just because you hit the submit button today doesn't mean that you can't change it tomorrow. So again, once the playing game starts, you can't do those, of course, once the game starts on Thursday, but you can still go and make changes, because I've already switched my national champion 3 times, if I'm being honest.
Well, as I'm sitting here looking at the bracket, and don't sleep on UConn. UConn has a rich history there. That I like the coach. A lot of people don't like him.
Hurley, they won back-to-back a couple years ago. Yeah.
I mean, I like him. I like
You're
his
one of the
intensity.
few.
I know. I'm one of the few on a lot of things, Dave. But that's okay.
Nothing wrong with being unique.
Yeah, exactly. Looking through here, I think Houston is going to make a nice run. I like the bracket that they're in. But yeah, I just don't see. Zona looks good. But I think Michigan is going to look great. Yeah. Michigan State actually looks pretty good, coming through here. But KSU and Gonzaga. That's going to be a funny one.
We'll
actually,
see what happens.
We'll see what happens there. But no, excited about it. Georgia. I'm going to pick Georgia. I'm not coming off of it, because we're going to win one of these games, and I want to be right the time that they do.
Exactly.
So, that's a little bit with my heart, but we're picking it.
Yeah, that's all right. Sometimes your heart, your gut, you got to trust one or the other. So, hey, we're going to take our final timeout right here. We're going to continue this discussion on the other side of the break. Stay with us right here. It's our Rally Towel Tuesday edition of the Morning Rant right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia, on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, your official home for flag-to-flag coverage of NASCAR.
Tired of shouting your business's name into the void and getting nothing but crickets? Your brand deserves more than awkward billboard glances and flyers lining bird cages. Right now, listeners are hearing me ramble on instead of your ad. That's a touchdown for missed opportunities and a fumble for your wallet.
Loose, recovered, Atlanta, game over.
Your ad could be here, making fans laugh, cheer, and most importantly, call you. Go to sportspigradio.com or call 678-454-9552 and get your business off the bench and into the game.
We bring the heat, you bring the trash talk.
Come on, man. Are you serious?
It's the Morning Rant, live on the Sports Pig app and sportspigradio.com.
And welcome back to the program right here. We're on there until 11 o'clock this morning. Chuck Oliver on deck. He'll take you from 11 to 1 this afternoon right here on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com. Again, check us out on social media. We want to hear from you, man. Interact with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. You can also watch full video episodes of the show on YouTube, and we appreciate you guys being with us right here on a Rally Towel Tuesday. Dave Garner back with the inside our Carriage Kia studios here with the one one, the only Billy Dowd, continuing our March Madness talk. Before we get back into that, I do want to mention, of course, we are the home for Cup Racing right here. NASCAR, the Sports Pig. Take us with you wherever you go. Of course, Denny Hamlin getting the win at Vegas this past weekend. This week, they return to their southern roots. Darlington, the Goodyear 400 on Sunday with the race starting at 3 o'clock. Live coverage right here a little bit earlier than that. So, again, check it out. We'll talk more about that later in the week there. But, again, a lot of things going on right here. Appreciate you guys being with us. We've got the Wing and Rock Fest going on this weekend. And we were talking about NASCAR because I think one of the things that kind of turned people away from NASCAR was the fact that they got away from some of their southern roots years ago, putting races in places like Kansas, running more Phoenix, California, different places like that. So it's good to see that some of these old tracks, like the Darlingtons and Rockinghams or what have you, at least they're coming back to that. So again, always great to see. But again, we are your home for NASCAR Cup Racing right here on the Sports Pig.
From the buzzer beaters to the big hits. If it's making noise in the world of sports, we've got something to say about it. This is Now That's What I'm Talking About.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your all-access pass to the hottest takes in the world of sports.
All right, we come back here and we talk about March Madness. Billy, let's continue that discussion right here. We were kind of going through the bracket a little bit, and we were kind of talking about the East a little bit. We had some matchups there in the South. I mean, looking down the bracket, you mentioned Houston. I like the Cougars to be a Final Four team this year. I think when you look at that bracket, you look at a team like Vanderbilt, who obviously had their way getting to the SEC championship, but I wouldn't sleep on McNeese. I mean, that's a program that you and I talked about that spent a little bit of money. They didn't spend any on football, but they spent a little bit on basketball, and so you never know. We kind of have a personal tie there that we'll talk about maybe a little bit later on. But again, you know the upsets are coming. You just have to try to pick where they're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like McNeese, but but I think that they you're right. I think they do have a shot to make something happen there. I'm interested to see, because like I said, I don't believe, I could be obviously wildly wrong, but I don't think Duke makes it this year. I really don't. I mean, I'm looking second round, maybe third round.
Right.
They get maybe. You think they make Sweet 16, or do you think they make it to the Final Four, Dave? Do you think they make it there?
I don't. That's tough. I don't think. I in my original bracket. Okay, I actually had St. John's penciled in to beat Duke. Now, I've got to go back and look. I know I tweaked some things last night. My bracket right now is a working document. I mean, it really is. Like, I keep, the more you research, the more you try to put into it right here. I'm not a big fan of Duke, honestly. I never really trust Duke year to year, honestly. I know they made a run, obviously, with Cooper Flagg, this, that, and the other. I get it. You had a dynamic player there that was a difference maker. But I'm not a big fan, especially with the injuries a little bit that the Duke team has had. Me personally, I don't really have them picked right now in my Final Four. I think that Kansas or St. John's or whoever's going to come out of that side of it's going to end up getting them. That's just my initial thought.
Well, and I'm with you actually. I don't think they're. It would be interesting to not see them there though. Duke is such a bracket team. What do you think? You think Georgia can take out St. Louis?
I think Georgia can take out St. Louis. I just think it's a matter of what team shows up, and I think that I think they get over the hump. I think they somehow win a game, in the tournament, which would be the first time in quite some time they've done that. Obviously, we have been your home of University of Georgia basketball here on the Sports Pig all season long, so we've had the opportunity kind of up close and personal to watch and to listen to this University of Georgia basketball team. Excuse me. I've got a little bit of drainage going on here. Sorry about that. But, the win over Alabama, I think a week or two ago, showed me that this team is legit, because if you look at last year's team, they got off to a great start and then they faded once they got into conference tourney play. This year's team really didn't have that fall off. I love what Mike White did this year. They were able to win some key games down the stretch. They really did not lose a lot of momentum throughout the season like they did last year. I didn't expect them to do anything last year, even when they got in.
Well,
but I think this year they've got a little bit more momentum, a little bit more maturity on their side. They've been there now. I think the experience plays out. I think it's a close game, but I think they do get it done over a good St. Louis team.
I do too, but it's like it's kind of like how I feel with like the Falcons in a lot of cases. Show me.
Oh boy.
Show
yeah,
me.
Well,
show
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Show me. I mean, we get into these spots and then we don't produce, right?
Yeah.
Just show me. Let's win a game. Let's get this out, and then who knows? Once you get that first win, maybe you can get a couple more in this bracket.
Yeah.
And then looking at Alabama, do they make it past the second round?
Yeah.
Do they make it past third? I don't know with their star player out. Can they make it that far?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, you got to think about teams like Hofstra, that come in there. But I'm telling you, I mean, Akron. If Akron is able to beat Texas Tech, that's a 12-5. I think if they're able to beat Texas Tech, then that sets up a potential second-round matchup with Akron and Alabama. And to your point, with the guy being out, I think that opens the door for Akron to walk into the Sweet 16. Well, not walk in. Of course, they've got to earn it. So that's an intriguing matchup. I tell you who I do like. I'm not a fan of the Big Ten, obviously, but I do like Purdue as a 2 seed.
They play good ball
coming out of the West. I like them to get basically to the Elite Eight at the least, potentially the Final Four if they're able to beat Arizona. I know a lot of people, if you look at a lot of the pundits around the country, they've got Arizona penciled in, a lot of them as their national champion this year. I'm not sure I'm buying that yet. But again,
I like Zona.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I like it. I definitely like Zona against Purdue in the Elite Eight. I think that, when you look at the Midwest bracket, you've got Michigan sitting there. I think Michigan probably advances. The bottom half of that bracket, to me, is really a toss-up. You've got Iowa State, a team that's always, over the last couple of years has been ranked so high, but I just like football, man, I cannot trust the Cyclones to live up to their seeding.
Yeah, and again, it's going to come down to guard play. It's going to come down to guard play, specifically with that team as well.
Yeah, and Houston, and you mentioned it. Like I said this earlier. I like Houston. coming out of the South.
Big and strong.
Yep, I could see that. I kind of like them as a Final Four team. I think they're probably playing a little bit better ball than maybe a Florida, a 1 seed, or a 3-seeded Illinois at this point, or
Look, Florida could certainly do it though.
No, they can do it.
They get hot.
Well, they did it last year. Yeah, I mean, they absolutely.
They got some big boys over there.
Definitely a team to do it for sure. So I'm not I'm not dumping on Florida. I'm not saying the Gators can't do it, but I do like Houston out of that bracket. And then right now, it is hard to pick against UConn. I tell you, a lot of people are talking about UCLA at number 7 out of the East as being kind of a sleeper team. They got Central Florida, of course, a 7-10 in the first round. That would set up UCLA versus UConn in the second round. And, depending on what happens there, if UCLA is able to get past UConn, assuming that UConn beats Furman, then all of a sudden it sets up for a pretty good potential Sweet 16 matchup between a team like UCLA and Louisville, for example.
But, UConn.
Michigan State.
UConn didn't look really good in their championship week either. They didn't. I know that I like UConn, but they looked terrible. In their championship game. So.
Right. Yeah. I'm not sure. I picked them to win when they won a couple years ago, which was when they won back to back. I picked UConn. I picked Florida. I picked the last couple national champions, which has allowed me. I was joking around with some of our buddies. That's why, the point system, the way it is with ESPN, you pick the national champ, you got a good chance to win the bracket, regardless of what happens, as you said, 3 through 16. But I have picked the last 2. But now this year, I tell you, man, I just feel like it's wide open. I don't feel like there's that one team that's just kind of head and shoulders that you feel like's better than the rest.
There's not. And the NIL has really changed a lot of that, right? And even the UConn coach during that game, they found a clip of him that they showed on ESPN, and he words the mouth, "We suck."
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't give you a whole lot of confidence, going into the
not at all.
The March Madness.
Yeah.
But I would agree. St. John's looks strong. I think they got a lot of potential.
Yep.
I like the coach there. A lot of experience there. I know that he can really rally the troops.
Yep.
And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Like I said, get your girlfriend, your wife, whoever, put down the colors, let them do all that. tell them to leave it alone, seeds 1 and 2, and I bet you do a pretty good job picking this thing.
I tell you, I wouldn't be shocked trying to pick the upsets. We're trying to pick the upsets right here for you to kind of help you out on your bracket. Now, don't blame us if it doesn't come to fruition because upsets are hard to pick. But I tell you, I would not sleep on, and I know this is maybe not necessarily the past teams, but Virginia Commonwealth against North Carolina in the first round. I could totally see VCU 11-6 matchup. It's not out of the question that a team like North Carolina could fall to a Virginia Commonwealth at 27-7 coming in. I know they play different competition, but nonetheless, VCU that may be one of your 11-6s perhaps. And I tell you, I would not. Another one is if you want a 13-4, Troy and Nebraska. I'm not sure how much I really trust Nebraska at this point, to be honest with you. I could see a team like Troy. I know you look at them at 22-11 and think, okay, that ain't going to happen. But if I had to look at one 13-4 bracket in this thing and pick a winner, I would say Troy would get it done over Nebraska.
Boys of Troy.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. The good thing, like you said, Billy D, we're about out of time, though, is we got it on tape, we got it right here, and it ain't going nowhere.
That's
so anything
right.
We talk about, when we get closer to football, we get ready to make our predictions. They ain't going anywhere. They're going to be out there for everybody to see. We transparent right here, and so we'll have a record of all this.
Yes, we will. I'm excited for that.
Oh, man, having a lot of fun right here with you guys on a Tuesday. Hey, we appreciate you guys being with us right here once again on the program. It's been a very fun Rally Towel Tuesday, a special St. Patty's Day edition of the show. Sporting our green today. We appreciate you guys being with us Monday through Friday, live on the dial 10 to 11 a.m., and also on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com. You can catch replays, the podcast version of this show, on the website, sportspigradio.com. You can go right there, scroll down to the bottom, and we have the daily podcast format of the show readily available for you. Also on YouTube as well. That's the morning rant on WPGY, the Sports Pig is what you would type in, trying to get all our bases covered right there. You can check out the video version, watch us on camera. Whenever we make our little references, you'll know what we're talking about there. But we appreciate you guys being with us each and every day, and man, thankful. Tomorrow we're going to have Big John Davis back with us right here in studio. We'll talk a little bit more about NFL, and we'll break down the World Baseball Classic tonight. The championship, Team USA, Venezuela.
USA.
Going at it, yeah, Team USA. Let's get it done, man. Red, white, and blue all the way. That's going to wrap things up for this edition of the show. Billy, thanks for being with us. As always, we always say right here, if you don't know,
you better ask somebody.
We'll see you tomorrow morning right here on the Morning Rant. This is the Sports Pig, home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia, on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com. We'll see you tomorrow.
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, your official home for Georgia Bulldogs basketball.
My goodness.